Hey everyone, welcome back to another deep dive. Today we're tackling something super important in education, and that's how schools can become really successful. Not talking about fancy equipment or anything, but how teacher leadership can make a difference.
It's pretty amazing, actually.
It really is. And lucky for us, we've got this fantastic blog post by Dr. Howie Knoff to guide us and talk about experience. This guy's been in education for over 40 years.
He really has classrooms, the federal level, you name it.
Wow. Now, what really caught my eye was how he breaks down school improvement into 7 key areas. It's like this recipe for success.
Yeah. And what's interesting is how connected they all are. Like he starts with strategic planning and organizational analysis and development.
Whoa. Okay, so that's a mouthful, but is it kind of like the foundation? Like before you build a house, you need a blueprint, right?
Exactly. It's all about figuring out the school's goals,
Yeah.
what resources they have, and how to achieve those goals.
Makes sense. And this is where teacher leadership comes in. I mean, Dr. Knopf mentions the school leadership team.
Right. And often, those experienced teachers are on that team, especially as chairs of other committees.
So it's not just the principal making all the decisions, it's a team effort.
Definitely a collaborative approach.
Which makes sense. Teachers are the ones in the classrooms every day. They see what's working and what's not.
Absolutely.
Ugh.
And that leads us to the next area, multi-tiered problem solving and systems of support, MTSS for short.
Okay, MTSS. Got it. So what is that about?
Well, think of it as making sure every student gets the support they need. Some might need a little extra help. Some might need more intensive intervention.
Like a safety net, no matter why they're struggling.
Exactly. And it's not about just throwing random solutions at the problem. It's about using data to understand the root cause and then tailoring the support accordingly.
Oh, so it's data-driven. That's interesting.
Very much so. And who do you think often has the best understanding of what a student needs?
I'm gonna guess those experienced teachers.
You got it.
Yeah.
They've seen different learning styles, different challenges, and can be amazing resources for their colleagues.
That makes a lot of sense. So we've got the plan, the support system, but teachers need support too, right?
Of course, that's where area number 3 comes in. Professional development, supervision, coaching, and accountability.
Okay, so basically making sure teachers have the tools and knowledge to keep growing and improving.
Exactly. Ongoing training, mentoring from experienced teachers, peer coaching. It's about fostering a culture of continuous learning.
Because ultimately that benefits the students, right?
100%. And now we get to the core of it all. Academic instruction, assessment, intervention, and achievement. Dr. Knopf uses this phrase, instructional environment, to describe how everything works together.
Oh, I like that. It's like an ecosystem.
You could say that. It's about the curriculum, how it's taught, and how students learn.
So how does this PASS model fit in? I read about that project achieves positive academic supports and services.
Oh, yes. That's like a blueprint for providing different levels of support depending on what each student needs.
Okay, I'm starting to see the bigger picture here. So academics, support systems, teacher development. But what about the overall vibe of the school? You know, that feeling of being safe and respected.
That's huge. And that's where social, emotional, and behavioral instruction, assessment, intervention, and self-management comes in.
Whoa, another mouthful. But it sounds important.
It is. It's about creating a school where everyone feels safe, respected, and can learn crucial social-emotional skills.
Things like empathy, conflict resolution, the stuff that helps you succeed in life, not just in school.
Exactly. And this area also covers positive behavior supports. It's not just about punishing bad behavior. It's about preventing it by creating a supportive environment.
Makes sense. And I bet experienced teachers are crucial here too, right?
Absolutely. They've seen it all. They can mentor their colleagues on effective strategies, maybe even lead committees focused on school climate and discipline.
I'm sensing a theme here. Experienced teachers are like the unsung heroes of school improvement.
You could say that. They have so much to offer.
They really do. Now, this next area is something I'm really passionate about: parent and community involvement, training, support, and outreach.
I was hoping we'd get to this one. Because schools can't do it alone, right?
Exactly. It takes a village. This is about getting parents involved, building partnerships, and tapping into those resources beyond the school.
And guess who often plays a key role in all of this?
I think I know where you're going with this. Those seasoned teachers again.
Bingo. They might have built relationships with families over the years. They might be active in the community. They're those natural connectors.
Wow, they really are the glue that holds it all together. Okay, we've covered 6 areas, all pretty action-packed. What's the last piece of the puzzle?
The 7th area is all about data management, evaluation, and efficacy.
Data. Okay, so it's not just about collecting it, but actually using it to track progress and make improvement.
You got it. It's the feedback loop for the whole system.
Mm.
And who do you think is often involved in analyzing that data?
Yeah. All right. All right. I think I've caught on. Those experienced teachers. They're the ones in the trenches, seeing it all play out.
Exactly. They can connect the data to what they're seeing in the classroom and help their colleagues interpret it and actually make changes based on that data.
So it's not just about leading committees, it's about taking on all these different leadership roles throughout the school.
It's about recognizing that everyone has something to contribute.
I love that. So we've got these 7 areas, and it's clear those experienced teachers have a huge EE role to play in each one. But how does it all work in practice? How do schools actually organize themselves?
Well, that's what we're going to delve into in the next part. We'll unpack how this shared leadership structure comes to life and how those different committees operate.
I can't wait. This is getting really interesting. Okay, so we've got these 7 areas, like this roadmap to success, but who's holding the map?
That's where the structure comes in, right? Dr. Knopf talks about shared leadership.
Shared leadership. I like that. So how does that actually look?
We'll think committees. Different committees tackle each of those areas. And guess who's often leading the charge?
Let me guess. Those experienced teachers.
You got it. They have the expertise and they get to lead in areas they're passionate about.
Okay, so it's not about giving them more work. It's about giving them the opportunity to really make a difference.
Exactly. And it starts with the school leadership team. It's like the brain trust of the school.
The brain trust. I love it. So who's on this team?
You usually have the principal, and then this is key, committee chairs, who are often those veteran teachers.
Makes sense. They've got the experience, the insight.
They're the ones who can steer the ship, so to speak.
So they're like conductors of an orchestra, making sure everyone is in sync and working towards that shared goal.
Perfect analogy.
What about those other committees? Tell me more about those.
Well, there's the multi-tiered system of support student assistance team, MTSS, remember?
Right, the safety net.
This team makes sure that safety net is strong. They focus on getting students the help they need, whether it's academic or behavioral.
Now, this team often has specialists, like counselors, right? But I imagine those experienced teachers bring a lot to the table, too.
Oh, absolutely. They have that classroom experience, years of working with diverse learners. They can spot patterns, share strategies, really advocate for what individual students need.
It's like having a whole team of detectives trying to figure out how to best support each student.
I like that. A team of detectives.
Okay, what about supporting the teachers themselves? Where does that fit in?
Ah, that's where the professional development teacher support and mentoring committee comes in.
The teacher support crew. Love it. What do?
It's all about continuous learning. Experienced teachers might mentor new teachers, lead workshops, or even coach their colleagues.
So it's about creating this culture of growth where everyone is learning from each other.
Exactly. Everyone benefits from that.
Now, we can't forget about the curriculum itself, right?
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
That's where the Curriculum Instruction and Assessment Committee comes in.
Okay, so they're making sure the curriculum is good, that it aligns with standards, and that it's taught in a way that actually engages students.
Exactly. And who better to be on that committee than experienced teachers? They know what works, what doesn't. They can help choose the right materials, design those engaging lessons.
They're like the guardians of the curriculum, making sure it's really top-notch.
Right. Now, another key committee is the School Climate and Student Discipline Committee.
School climate, that's so important. It's not just about rules, it's about creating that positive atmosphere where everyone can thrive.
You got it. They might focus on implementing those social emotional learning programs we talked about,
Mm-hmm.
or creating a more inclusive and equitable environment.
And I bet those experienced teachers are super valuable here, too.
Oh, definitely. They've seen how school climate can impact learning firsthand. And they probably have tons of ideas for building a more positive environment.
It's like they're the heart of the school, making sure it's a place where everyone feels safe and respected.
And last but not least, we have the Parent Involvement Community Outreach Committee.
Can't forget about the parents. I mean, education doesn't just happen in the classroom. It takes a village.
Right. This committee is all about building those bridges between the school and the community.
And I'm sensing a theme here. Those veteran teachers are probably leading the charge here, too.
You know it.
Yeah.
They often have those strong relationships with families. They're active in community organizations. They're the connectors.
They really are. Okay, so we've got all these committees working hard on different areas. But what about that data piece? Area 7, data management, evaluation, and efficacy. Where does that fit in with all these committees?
That's a great question. And Dr. Knopf makes a really important point about this. He says Area 7 isn't its own separate committee.
Oh, interesting. So it's not like there's a data committee off doing its own thing.
Exactly. It's more like a lens through which all the other committees should operate.
Ah, I see. So it's about each committee using data to track their progress, see what's working, what's not, and make adjustments.
Think of it like this. Each committee is on a mission, and they need to check their map and compass the data to make sure they're heading in the right direction.
And who's good at reading maps and compasses? Our experienced teachers, of course.
You got it. They can connect that data to what they're seeing in the classroom and help their colleagues understand it and use it to make a real difference.
So it's not just about teachers leading committees, it's about them taking on different leadership roles throughout the school.
It's distributed leadership, recognizing that everyone has something to contribute.
And when schools embrace this, when they empower teachers, everyone benefits.
Exactly. But what does this actually look like for students? How do all these efforts impact their lives?
That's the real question, isn't it? Because at the end of the day, it's all about the students.
You're absolutely right. And that's what we'll explore in part 3, the real-world impact of teacher leadership on student success.
Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground here. These 7 areas, shared leadership, all these committees. But it's all about the students, right?
Absolutely. Everything comes back to creating the best possible learning experience for every student.
So let's try to picture this. Imagine a school where all this is working, where teacher leadership is thriving. What would that look like? How would it impact those students?
Well, first off, you'd walk in and you'd feel this energy, this excitement, this buzz, not just from the kids, but from the teachers too.
Because they're not just going through the motions, they have a voice, they're part of the process.
Exactly. And that makes a huge difference in the classroom.
Mm.
Think about it. When teachers are empowered, when they feel valued, they're more likely to go above and beyond for their students.
So those students aren't just passively absorbing information, they're actively engaged, their individual needs are being met, they're challenged and supported.
You got it. And it's not just about academics either. When teachers are leading these school improvement efforts, they're often focusing on creating a more positive school culture overall.
That sense of community, that feeling of belonging, it can make such a difference, right?
It's huge. It's about creating a school where everyone feels safe, respected, valued.
And all of this focus on teacher leadership and continuous improvement, it leads to better outcomes for students, right?
Without a doubt. Improved academic performance, of course, but also increased social-emotional skills, higher graduation rates, even lower rates of disciplinary problems.
So it's about the whole child, the whole picture, not just test scores.
Exactly. It's about setting them up for success in life, not just in school. And there's research to back this up. Studies show that when schools invest in teacher leadership, everyone benefits. Teachers are happier, students are more successful, the whole school community thrives.
So it's like a ripple effect spreading outward.
And it creates this cycle of positive change. It's not just about the students who are there right now. It's about building a legacy, a culture of excellence that will impact students for years to come.
So it's an investment in the future, really.
Exactly. And I think Dr. Knopf's work really highlights that. But it's not just about following a set of rules. It's about embracing this spirit of continuous improvement, empowering teachers, and always putting students first.
Well said. So as we wrap up this deep dive, I'd love to leave our listeners with something to think about. What skills or experiences do you think are most essential for teachers to be effective leaders in these roles?
That's a great question. What would you look for in a teacher who's stepping up to lead a committee, mentor a new colleague, or analyze data to make improvements? What would equip them to really navigate these complexities and make a difference?
We'd love to hear your thoughts on that because this isn't a one-time conversation. It's an ongoing journey. And it takes the collective wisdom, passion, and leadership of everyone who believes in the power of education.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into teacher leadership and school improvement. Until next time, keep learning, keep questioning, and keep striving to make a difference.